What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we are continuing the trend of watching the worst animes known to man. Recently, I have been watching less and less anime because every anime that I watch has been quite shit, and has made me not want to watch another one for at least a while. It wants me to have a little bit of a movie break, so I'm not excited for this one. I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit anime burnt out, and this is one of the reasons why. You know? Complete one of the reasons why. Rick and Morty has made their own anime, but I wouldn't class it as an anime based on the style and where it's made. An anime is a Japanese made program, right? A cartoon is an American made program, okay? Okay? We follow in. Anime has a specific style to it that this just does not follow. This looks more of a cartoon than an anime, and a cheap budget one at that. So without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say. So Rick and Morty the anime is an adult cartoon. As it fucking says here, adult cartoon. It's not an anime. It's an adult cartoon. So, straight off the gate, it's completely false advertising and fucked with its own name. It came out in 2024, it does have one season, and it does have 10 episodes, roughly at like 20 minutes each, so you can easily watch it in 3 hours. It does have a 2.9 out of 10 on IMDb. The adventures of the members of the Smith household, mad scientist and samurai Rick Sanchez and his grandchildren, the 14-year-old Morty Smith and the 17-year-old Summer. That's pretty much it. That is it. That's all the description we get. And the story is actually pretty good, so let's take a look at that. So how it opens up is with Rick and Summer on a mission, with Morty at home playing a VR game. And a different version of Rick has infiltrated that VR game and pulled him out of it. He's pulled him out the VR game, and that means just one thing. Time travel shenanigans and time stuff, which Rick and Morty have already said they don't like doing. Rick has already said he doesn't fuck with time. He doesn't go back and forward in time. He doesn't do that. He just dimension hops. So, breaking Rick and Morty's core values and core rules just to make a season. Brilliant. Anyway, because one of the Rick has pulled Morty out of this VR headset, he pulls out one of the girls from his VR headset as well, which was his girlfriend in the show. And we then have two versions of Summer, two versions of Rick, two versions of Morty, and two versions of Beth, and two versions of Jerry as well, because Jerry has a special episode later on, which I don't really see where it comes into play. Jerry wants to be a superhero, so they give him a superhero suit. He finds Jerry from the original sort of dimension with his sort of tribal outfit on, and they find Mr. Nimbus, they get a sword. That's pretty much it. The rest of the story follows the both Beths, both Summers, both Mortys, both Ricks try to fix their timeline shit, because the original Rick made a sort of antimatter and sort of normal matter thing, and it reset the timeline and is fucking with time. So there is two timelines merging together, and they're trying to stop that and fix that. But one of the things that they have to destroy to fix that is Morty's girlfriend. So they're trying to find another way to do this. They fail. They kill the girlfriend, and then they give Morty a headset so he can live in a world where his girlfriend didn't die. And that's pretty much the show. I'm going to be honest, for the whole storyline, it wasn't actually that bad. I quite liked the story and the concept of the story. Right, of the time travel, two worlds merging together and having to destroy it to save, having to destroy the girl that you love to save the world. I thought that was a really cool story. I thought that it had really good stakes, and I thought that it could have been way better than it was. The reason that I don't like it is because it is based with the Rick and Morty IP. They're using the Rick and Morty IP to try and boost views, boost attention for this anime, and get it sort of rolling. This could have been so good if they just made new characters, because in this sort of anime, they do state that this is the C-137 version of Rick and Morty. So this is our official Rick and Morty, the two Rick and Mortys that we've been following throughout the entire series of Rick and Morty. That's already a problem. I don't like that. They could have easily done a different version of Rick and Morty in a anime world, right? It did not have to be the official Rick and Morty. There is countless dimensions, countless sort of possibilities, as they say all the time in Rick and Morty, and how many times we see these different variations of Rick and Morty. We could be looking at a different Rick and Morty's perspective, or a different Rick and Morty story, alright? So they already fucked up by setting it with our Rick and Morty. That's a problem, and that's probably pissed a load of people off. It also changes the voice actors. None of these voice actors from this anime are the same voice actors that voice these characters in the official Rick and Morty show. Like, that's shit going into it already. Like, this is terrible. The voice acting quality is really bad. It feels like a fan-made show, and it looks like a fan-made show as well, because the art style is shockingly bad. It's got bright colors, which I often praise in shows, but that's all it's got. The lines are very squiggly and squiff. It looks like it's been drawn in like a notebook at school. It looks like it's been drawn in about 10 minutes. Like, it does not look complete at all. And the way they draw it is so ugly. Like, they have a yellow outline which glows compared to the usual black outline that we draw stuff in, and some of the times the black outline is emphasized in some cartoons, like in The Amazing World of Gumball. They have quite thick outlines, and that's cool. That gives it personality. This does not. This seems really crappy and really cheap, and some of the facial expressions and some of the way that they move just looks off and looks janky and just doesn't work well. It just feels like they didn't put enough time and effort into it. They had a really good idea. They had a golden nugget, and they tried to sell that golden nugget by putting it in shit. Alright, they surrounded that golden nugget in shit because they thought that they could get away with it by sort of putting it with Rick and Morty's name, because people know that Rick and Morty get views. Rick and Morty gets attention. Rick and Morty is so popular that people will watch it no matter what. And it worked. People watched it, but people fucking hated it, so it's not going to get a season 2. And I'm going to be honest, it just felt icky to watch because the voice acting was terrible. It wasn't good. Everyone was really over the top, like more over the top than normal anime. It felt like I was watching a TikTok skit where they were being that over the top and that sort of awkward with how they were talking. There was a lot of random grunts and groans, and that's what they mainly used to speak with, and that's what they were mainly doing. Like, they wasn't talking to each other. When Rick arrived to talk to Morty, he'd go, and that'd be it. He would stutter and stump. He wouldn't even stutter, he would just make random noises. And then when he was being attacked again, he would make random noises. He wouldn't scream or anything. He would just make random noises. And it's very off-putting and makes it so hard to watch. It was a struggle to watch. It was a very hard watch. But I stuck with it. I watched it all. Do I regret it? Yes, 100%. I wish I didn't watch this because it had potential. The story had potential. And I believe if they just went with a different animation style and a different characters, make their own characters, this would have been a good show. Even the art style doesn't have to be brilliant. It can still look like this. This has a unique art style which could be used quite well if you made your own character designs instead of sort of changing how we already know what these characters look like. And the voice acting, fair enough, it isn't the best, but again, all you had to do was make original characters and an original world, alright? And then you've done it. You've done it. You can have the same premise, the same character arcs, because the characters didn't act like they normally did. Rick cared way too much for Morty and Summer, and he genuinely cared for them, and that's something that we don't often see. Jerry is buttfuck stupid anyway, but they made him, like, barely able to function in this show. He is barely able to string together a sentence in this show, and I don't understand. Like, he has no clue what's going on. Like, most of the time in Rick and Morty, he doesn't have a clue what's going on, but it's done so differently with how they, like, tackle the stupidity of these characters. They feel like two separate characters, and they should be. They should be two separate characters, because this show should not be, like, lumped in with Rick and Morty. Like, I still believe, like, I firmly believe that if they made their own characters, this would have done wonders. Like, this would have been a really good show. It's just the fact that they took on a popular IP to make something new and something different to what has already been set up with Rick and Morty. One of the big things that Rick and Morty do is they don't like to do a lot of lore. They like to have one-off funny episodes majority of the time with like a background string of lore throughout the season. And with that, it's completely thrown out the window with this anime, because this anime has it all flowing. Like, this anime has the entire show linear. It is a complete story, start to finish. And again, that's just not how Rick and Morty is done. That is not how Rick and Morty is structured. That is not how Rick and Morty like to do things. And they've said it themselves in their show that that's not how they like to do things. So it just feels like it isn't the characters that we know and love, but they are ramming it down our throat, saying that it is the characters that we know and love. So I don't know what they're trying to go for here. It's like they don't know what Rick and Morty is, and that they've just sort of made a story with what little information they had. And this is made by Adult Swim, and Adult Swim make Rick and Morty. So it's the same fucking people that make the show, like, that fund the show. So I don't understand why it feels so different and so, like, it's just not Rick and Morty. I hate it. I do agree that it is a 2 out of 10. The only sort of residing factor that this has going for it is the story. It does have a good story, and I would have much preferred this story to be done with, like, its own characters, because I believe that's how they could have fixed it. They could have fixed it so easily. They could have changed the animation. They could have changed the voice actors, and I still think this would have flopped. But if they just changed the characters, this could have done wonders on Adult Swim.